This 148 minutes long German movie is based on a novel of the same name, published in 1928. The novel has already been made as movies in 1930 and in 1979. This 2022 German release is therefore the third adaptation of the novel. While the world outside Germany hails this as one of the best movies of 2022 and it is in contention for Academy Awards in 9 different categories, the sentiments are not the same in Germany, with some German critics pulling back no punches. What could trigger this widely different opinions on an anti-war movie? Before I start comparing the opinions, let me first give you a neutral review of the movie. Hello everyone, welcome back. Before or while watching this movie, I had no idea that it was based on a popular novel, and therefore I watched the movie without the baggage of prior knowledge which could have clouded my judgment. Over the period of time, the phrase "all quiet on the Western Front" has become a colloquial expression for stagnation or lack of visible change, which is what the movie is all about. This is a symbolic expression of how the war was fought on the Western Front during World War I, where both the sides fought a futile war where no side made any progress. The title signifies that there was nothing new to report on the Western Front. While the book was a cynosure to the literary readers, the perception was not the same among the German authorities after World War I, as it brought out that side of Germans which is peace-loving. The book was seen as anti-patriotic and was banned in Germany in 1930. For all of us who have always known one side of the German history and who believe all Germans during those days were warmongers, this movie is an eye-opener. The story is about a German soldier, Paul Bäumer, who volunteers for the Imperial German Army during the start of the war. Paul, like many other youngsters during those times, gets fascinated by the fiery nationalist speeches and gets enrolled in the services of the Imperial German Army. Immediately after the enrollment, he, along with many new recruits, march to the war front without knowing what is coming. Wait, how does a soldier join the army without knowing what is coming? That is exactly where the power of speech and propaganda plays a big role. The recruits are made to believe the version of German government that there are forces out there that will stop at nothing before destroying their fatherland. Drunk and high on jingoism, these youngsters join the army. Only after reaching the war front on the northern French border do they realize what is waiting. They need to survive the harsh, cold and wet winters with minimum rations, no shelter, in bunkers and trenches without proper sleep for weeks, months and years without knowing when it would end. It doesn't take too long before Paul and everyone else to realize what they have signed up for. The rest of the movie is all about the survival of Paul and his mates in the army. The brutality of war is matched by the brutality of storytelling in the slow burn war drama. When the story begins, Paul and his friends are shown as joining the army with the excitement of school kids joining a summer camp. We wonder why would they be shown as being so excited to be on the war front. To me, this was a bit annoying. Yes, they may not know the dangers ahead, but come on, they can't be so silly that they get to be so naive and get excited like joining a summer camp. But once the scene shifts to the war zones, everything changes. The soldiers have to at times scavenge for fresh food, clean water, and also steal from farms and houses of civilians. Such exploits of the soldiers are shown in a lighter mode, skipping the harsher exploits that the soldiers are known to indulge in during the war times. The trauma and regret that Paul goes through every time he kills an enemy soldier in close combat situations leave the viewers equally traumatized. Not all those in Warfront are trained killing machines. Most of them are common people who are forced to fight the war that someone else decides to, leaving the family behind. And in the Warfront, the only way to not to get killed is by killing some unknown common man who is also pushed to the situation by somebody else. And this is the point the movie tries to make. Therefore, there is a bit of an indulgence in some scenes to make this point loud and clear. Fortunately, the director, Edward Berger, has managed to find the delicate balance. The story also shows the stark contrast between the living conditions of the soldiers as compared to the generals and leaders. Daniel Brühl plays the role of Matthias Erzberger, the diplomat who mediates for the armistice from the German side. Contrary to the usual way of depicting Germans, the German negotiators are shown more like humans with vulnerability. Whether it is historically accurate or not is one thing, but it doesn't hurt to see the human side, and I completely subscribe to the approach the director has taken. Without any background knowledge of the novel or the prior releases of this in 1930 and 1979, I have to admit honestly that I truly enjoyed the movie watching experience. In fact, I watched it twice before writing this review. The biggest criticism this movie faces is the Germans who are knowledgeable on this topic feel that this is an Americanized version of the novel and it is not a honest adaptation. The criticism is that the movie caters to and is tailor-made to impress the Academy Awards jury. Therefore, this movie's nomination in the Best Picture or the Best International category has mixed reactions. And adapted screenplay is where the big chunk of criticisms come from. I am not knowledgeable enough to comment on these subject matters, but what I can watch for sure is the command over the technical aspects. I personally believe that the movie truly deserves an award in the following technical categories. Cinematography. True to the European war genre, the cinematography sticks to the grayish blue color tone, which makes it easy to relate to the war situation. It makes you feel the cold the soldiers survived through. The color grading is just one part of it, but the rest is all about the mastery in knowing what to do and when. Visual effects. The visuals are stunning. Pause at any moment and you'll realize that every shot is a picture by itself. It is not just the visuals, but also the visual effects. Background score and sound. I have a soft corner for composers who know the power of silence and use music to enhance the mood rather than trying to show their instrumental prowess at every possible opportunity. The power of underplaying is what makes the music so compelling in this movie. Besides, it's also nominated for production design and makeup and hairstyling. I have no opinions on this, but the reconstruction of the trenches and the war grounds will leave you spellbound. The criticisms notwithstanding, it is a must-watch movie not just for war aficionados but also for movie watchers who appreciate good cinema. There are some standout moments in the movie that are worth mentioning. First, the most agonizing moment is when Paul tries to kill a French soldier to save himself from certain death. His panic shifts to sympathy, care, and self-loathing all in a matter of minutes. This scene is bound to impact you at many levels. Number 2. The body language and the approach of the German side in negotiations for armistice. It is refreshing to watch it from a non-Hollywood point of view. Perhaps it is due to the point in time of the war where Germans have already lost it that the body language is more approachable or even submissive. I am sure it would not have been portrayed this way had this been a Hollywood movie. The longingness for love. When the soldiers witness a group of French women, their craving for the love, touch, and scent of a woman expressed the German way is a different perspective to watch. Number 4. I already mentioned the stark contrast between the life of the men who pull the strings and the soldiers who are out in the field. You can't help but feeling helpless on the injustice and the harsh reality of war, which is portrayed picture perfect in this movie. The opening scene. This is one of the most impactful openings I have ever watched. The movie opens with a soldier fighting on the war front and then getting killed. His body is recovered from the battlefield along with the other dead soldiers. His uniform, weapons, dog tag and everything that is reusable is taken before he is buried. The uniforms are shipped back by trains to a central place where it is washed and repaired. Finally, the uniform gets handed over to Paul along with the dead soldier's name. Paul notices the name tag and informs the officer that it must belong to someone else. The officer nonchalantly removes the tag and gives the uniform back to Paul, saying it must have been too big for the other soldier. The depth of the sequence left me thinking and positively impressed. This movie takes up the perspective which is not often taken. It is easy to demonize the usual suspects which the world easily believes, in this case the Germans, who are always portrayed in the negative light in any period drama. It is much harder to take the road not taken and still come up with a version that is acceptable by the most. All Quiet on Western Front is one such attempt. I would recommend watching this movie once and form your own opinion. Thanks for watching. I'll come back with my next review. Till then, bye bye.